I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your LinkedIn content isn't underperforming. You just don't know what's working. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact tracker that I use to spot my top performing posts, double down on what works and disregard what doesn't. Oh, and you'll get a copy of it for free. I'm going to show you what to track, how to track it without overcomplicating it, and the one metric that I ignored for months until I realized it was the missing link between my content and my calendar filling up with sales calls. And how cool is this on screen? All right, just these pie charts. I get this information every single month, so I know what formats I've posted most, what objectives I've posted with, the different types of topics or frames, so whether it's personal, whether it's business, whether it's a mix, and how many posts are reposts rather than original posts. And I'll go through this in a second. You can get a copy of this directly right now. All you have to do is click the link under this video, put in your details, and you'll be able to grab it and start using it. Now, in here, we've got two tabs, all right? We've got a blank analytics tab, and we've also got an example one. So I'm just going to walk you through the example one first so you know how this sheet works, all right? So every month, and you can do this every day if you wanted to, or just do it at the end of the month, or have a VA do it for you. So we have a few different columns first and foremost, all right? We've got the date. So very simple to change, yada, yada, yada. Then we've got the hook or the title of the post, and I just put these in here so I can see what works. Then I store the link here too, so I can get to it quickly if I ever want to repost it or copy it or whatever. Then we've got some different options in terms of format. So image, you can alter these as well if you wanted to by clicking this edit button, but I'm either long form, short form, interview, carousel, live, or photo basically. And then we have three objectives that we teach our clients. We're either trying to capture new attention, we're trying to build trust, or we're trying to convert existing trust into a lead or a call or a download or whatever. All right. Then what is the topic of the post? And it's either logical, emotional, or a mix, or personal or business or a mix. All right. So we've got personal, business, or mix. And again, this is just helpful for me to see a split essentially. Then is it a new post or a repost? All very, very easy. Okay. Now, this is where it gets really important because we can look at this number here. I mean, I actually backfilled this when I filled it out, so I don't know the exact numbers, but months moving forward, I do. I can tell that this post actually resulted in 5 inbound leads, all right, which is great. Like, that is the type of post that I want to put out there. And funnily enough, it's a repost. So I'd already posted it before, so there's obviously a reason behind that, right? What we're aiming to do here is get like 3 months of data and be able to go, right, now we can make some really good decisions. We know that our highest performing posts are image posts that are based around trust or conversion. They typically talk about business, and we know these reposts are shit hot as well. And you can like just see how frequently I'm reposting. I think it's like a third of my, yeah, that's very standard for me. Third of my posts will be reposts because we're always just testing, all right? So this you have to track manually. So if you put out a post and people inquire or start booking calls or whatever it is, you just want to write down that you've had some inbounds, okay? Now, the next thing is the number of impressions that you have. So what this does, and I've built this sheet to be pretty clever, if you put in your impressions, and I recommend, by the way, doing this like 48 hours after the post has been live. If you just post and then put the number of impressions in straight away, obviously it's going to be like 10. But if you leave it to run for at least 48 hours, or you could leave it to run for the whole month and then put the numbers in, it's going to be really, really beneficial for you. So what this does is anything above average will turn green. So you know if you want more impressions, you need to do more posts like this. And it's the same with engagements as well, okay? So when I mention engagements, I'm talking about the number of likes, the number of comments, and the number of shares all put together, okay? So the total of all of those things. And then what this column does, and again, this is automatic, this works out your engagement rate. And your engagement rate is essentially how many people have seen it, so how many impressions it's had, versus how many people have engaged with it. And you'll start to see some really interesting stuff here as well, like, if we look at the highest number of impressions here, oh, it does actually have the highest number of comments. It doesn't always correlate. So here, for example, oh yeah, let's look at this, right? So this was a post about my daughter and me spending time with her on Wednesdays. This got 17,000, which is a lot higher than I get. You know, I'm not particularly bothered about impressions. I do care, but they're like the lowest metric, or one of the lowest metrics I'm bothered about. But the engagement rate is well below average. If we look, the average here is 3.49%. the engagement rate here is half basically. So it just shows the more eyeballs you stuff or your content gets showed to, doesn't necessarily mean more people are going to engage with it. Okay. So this is really helpful, again, because it allows us to make decisions. So if we'd have had a shitload of inbound leads here, what we'd be able to do is look at the different types of formats and objectives and make sure that we're posting the right stuff. So this is all in line with what this is a few months old now, but this is all in line with what I still do. So I'll aim for the majority of posts to, well, all posts to have media attached, but the majority of posts just to have a photo of some description. And then I'll mix up like long form video. I'll post like once a week, that kind of stuff. In terms of the objectives, well, I never really try and go viral. Might change in the future, but I never really try and capture brand new attention. I never really do that much conversion content anymore, maybe like 1 or 2 asks a month. My primary objective with LinkedIn is middle of funnel and just to strengthen trust. Content as a conversion mechanism isn't working as well as it used to for myself and other clients of ours. So we convert people in other ways. I won't get into that. In terms of like what I talk about, well, it's either personal, business, or a mix. This I'd like to see a little bit higher. I'd rather my my personal content be taking up like a third, I would say. So yeah, that might need to change. And this was fascinating the first time I did it because I didn't engineer the month. I just tracked the month after it had happened. And ever since then, coincidentally, a third of my posts on LinkedIn every single month have been reposts. So I'm not putting in any extra effort for like 10 days a month, which is great. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to fill this out. Again, if you want to grab a copy of it, it's completely free. You'll be able to outsource it to a VA if you wanted to. You can do it yourself every day, every week, or every month. But you can hit the link under the video and grab it. I'm just going to start here. Okay. So I'll just pretend that it's the 1st of October because I can't be bothered changing all the dates. So I'm going to look at the hook and the title. So I'm going to go to my activity. Let's just say it was this one. Me and Danny used to harass strangers in shopping centers. Cool. So I'll stick that there. I will then find the link to the post as well. So I'll just come here and then I will click copy link to post. Boom. And then I would fill this in. Like so. I store all my files in Notion, but if I wanted to tag a Google Doc in or whatever, I can do that. The format of this post is an image and a photo. The objective, I already know, is to build trust. The topic, it was kind of a mix. I'm talking about friendships and business, so we'll call that a mix. And I know for a fact this is a repost. Cool. So now let's say I got 2 inbound leads from it. I didn't, I don't think, but just so we're filling in that column. We're then going to go back and look at the impressions. So it got 6691 impressions, which is above average for me, and it's above average for the month, obviously. Or it's bang on average for the month, I should say. And then we want 63, 64 had 24, okay, which results in 88. So now we can start to see the engagement rate's actually quite low. And we'll find out if it's above average when we've done a few more posts. I'm not going to do them now, don't worry. But imagine if our average sort of impressions was 2,000, let's say, and the average engagement was 50. We'd then be able to see exactly what's working and then double down on it. So not only does this start to remove guesswork, it also makes your life easier when you want to get into the reposting sort of game. I call it the greatest hits theory, right? Every 90 days you look at your biggest or best performing posts and then you repost them. But I hope this is helpful. You are welcome to download a copy of this, as I mentioned. We give this to all our C2C clients alongside shitloads of other systems. I mean, this is just some of the basic stuff that we provide. But yeah, grab it from the link below. Hope that was helpful. And if you want to, you can watch this video next if you're on YouTube. If you're on LinkedIn, there won't be a video there. So head to my featured section and grab yourself some free shit. Bye.